here this morning or this evening for some of you. T-minus 19 minutes, 10 seconds until the Polygoanna drop. Thanks to all the community for being so super enthusiastic about this. Loving the energy in the group. I'm seeing the fist pumps on the beat, which is super impressive. Let's get Chief Commander Shirov up to say hello.
Hey, hello there.
Good morning. How's things on your end?
I'm excited. This is great. Loving the action here.
Yeah, there's a bit of a vibe. This Goanna fam doesn't muck around. How you doing there, Benji?
I'm good, mate. It's been a while since it's been 5:30 in the morning, and I've had pumping beats like that. I'll tell you. But yeah, mate, I'm good. I love the intro.
You got to play a bit of beats. You always got to play a bit of beats. I will put a link to that official Polonize playlist in the comments below. But thanks for joining us, Benji. Always appreciate your support here. Thanks for pulling all this through, and welcome to the community. We've got questions rolling in the Polygoanna group on the Polonize Academy Discord, so please put any questions you have there. Again, I did post a link to the drop in the chat. There's links and announcements if anyone's having trouble finding the page. I'm sure if you just go to the Shuffle homepage, you'll be able to navigate from there. But besides that, we're all set to go. 17 minutes to go. Is anything we wanted to chat about in particular? Commander Shirov, did we want to talk about, I guess, what we can expect, or where holders can expect to see their Goannas on the actual platform? I know you and Commander Hacho on the build team have been working super hard to pull the platform together, and have done some exciting upgrades in the past week, and some super exciting upgrades coming in the week to come. Whereabouts will Goanna holders be able to see their Goannas on the platform on Mission Control?
Yeah, this is important. You know, we have always had this vision of utility for our assets, and this is the beginning of that. So the first place that you're going to be able to see your avatar in all its glory is on our player profile on the platform. This will be released very, very imminently, within perhaps even the day, and that's going to be a very simple process. Going to Mission Control, you log in as usual, and then you click on your icon. It takes you to your new player profile. You'll be able to see your assets, your Polonize assets, your Polygoanna will be in there, and you'll be able to activate the avatar. And we've got special function code on these Polygoannas, and as all our Polonize assets have, that function code executes in the Polonize game engine, and you'll get your avatar, and that will be your avatar as you go through the game, whenever you play from then on.
Awesome, super exciting. And to add to that, basically what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, we'll be releasing our Polynaut suit collection, and so you'll be able to combine your Polygoanna with its original poly suit, and create multiple combinations and start pimping out your profile over there on the Polonize side as well. So that's going to be super fun, and the suits are looking amazing. Big shout out to Andre, our lead designer. This is his amazing work we have here. He's been working tirelessly in the background, pulling this all together over the past couple of months. So big shout out to Andre. And also just wanted to mention two things. One, we decided that 5% of the sales of these Polygoannas will go into the Polygoanna treasury. So that's all set up and ready to go, and that will go towards things like paying for mission entry to the top players. All Goannas will have a chance to play. There will be a Team Goanna leaderboard, and what essentially will happen will be the top portion. We still haven't worked out exactly what portion that is, because we want to see how many people, how many Polygoannas participate. but a top percentage of that player pool will be eligible to enter particular tournaments that we have in the future set up, and that portion will have their entry fees covered, so their mission patch covered. So that's super exciting. Good one reason to play hard once you get into your Polynaut suit. Second thing is we did decide to donate 5% to the tree fund. So I'm super excited about that. I've been really wanting to donate to that for a while as Polynize. So this seems like the right moment to start that off. Benji, just wanted to throw over to you for a moment to talk a little bit about the tree fund. I know Goanna supporters have heard a lot about it, but just for some Polynize fans that are out there, what does a tree fund do? How does it work? Where is it located? Just some details on that would be awesome.
Cool, yeah. So the tree fund is definitely my passion project. When we started the Goanna collection, we launched with a pretty simple mission. We wanted to plant one tree for every NFT that we created. Now, kind of a year on, we've established kind of a dedicated fund. We've planted over 150,000 trees. The fund currently holds approximately, I don't know off the top of my head, about 600,000 algo. And the goal is to get us to plant 1 million trees in the next 12 months, which I think is definitely achievable now. So the way the fund works is we raise capital in the form of algos. This can be through donations, partnerships, NFT sales. And this capital is held in the treasury as algos. We then put it into work. So it goes back into the AlGoanna ecosystem through governance, through DeFi. It helps contribute to TVL, but in doing that, it generates a yield. So what we'll do is at the end of each quarter, we'll take the yield that's been generated, and we'll also have kind of community votes from our fund governors. If you hold a Forest Folk NFT, you actually become a governor of the tree fund, and then we'll allocate that profit, and that will kind of be liquidated. We'll then go and distribute that to different tree planting partners around the world. And again, the fund governors, they get to decide which projects we support. So we get, we can choose different countries. Some of them have different kind of models of how they work. So yeah, it's really exciting. We're actually, we're just coming to the end of Q3, so we'll be finalizing all our numbers for the quarter, hopefully later this week, and then that will be going to community vote, and we'll be looking at which projects we support, and we'll be able to see that total increase as well, which will be great, because that's what it's all about. Is NFTs and crypto. It's all great fun, but it's all very much kind of online and in the digital realm. So it's nice to be able to kind of take what we do here and use it to drive some real world impacts as well.
Yeah, awesome. It's a good point. The crossover between Web3 and the real world is always an interesting intersection that comes out in times like when there's particular conferences on or things like that. You sort of see the Web3 community come together, but seeing real world utility in what we're doing here in Web3 is always super interesting, and we're moving towards that ourselves at Polynize. Like we see a future where pollinizers will have access. Top pollinizers will have access to opportunities in the real world, like we saw in the first version of Polynize. The good players become super attractive to businesses, to organizations. These core innovators that come out of these games are really attractive to key people in the ecosystem, and they'll become more evident on our platform as well. So we see a future where there's going to be opportunities for polynauts to explore real world opportunities as well. So super pumped about that as well. Okay. Just I've got so many pages open, I can't find the actual drop page, but we've got just over 9 minutes left before the drop. Anything you guys wanted to add, Sharav? You did touch on utility there for a second. You did touch on the metadata and the codes in there. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? I'm interested we released a post yesterday about that. What's different about the way that we implement code in that metadata, and how do we use that on our platform? I think that's a super interesting point, and just wanted to dive into that a little bit while we got a bit of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's quite a topic of discussion in certain circles, looking at NFTs and assets. AlGoanna, as we all know, is doing really well, but overall the NFT market's not doing so well. And people are seeing they're asking the question, how are NFTs going to evolve? So this word utility seems to be the number one word that's thrown around, hashtag utility NFT. You can see the amount of discussion around that. But what does that actually mean? And the crew over here, we've been thinking about that for a while. How do you actually make utility happen? What does that mean? Now, in computer code terms, it means embedding some kind of function onto these assets. And that's where we started with. We decided to create a little bit of a standard around that, which we've published. We're not the only ones, of course. There are other people thinking like this, but we're all trying to add something to these assets. We know they're valuable. We know they look, the artwork's great. The asset themselves are valuable and they're traded. But when you can start adding a little bit of function to them, and that means adding code. And code, being a coder here on the build crew, we think in techie terms sometimes, and NFTs are fascinating to us because they have this thing called metadata, which is very flexible. You can pretty much add anything to metadata. And so we decided, why don't we just start adding some executable code? So we created a standard around that, call it function codes. We have a number of different little codes that we put in there. And these Polygoannas, for example, going out with some function code that you can see when you get your Goanna and go to our player profile, you'll be able to see the function code on there. And when you activate that little function code, which is essentially the avatar code, activates and runs or executes in our platform and gives you the utility that's coded into it. Now, the beauty of that is the utility can grow over time. So the code's still there. Obviously, a year from now, 2 years from now, you've got the same asset. It's the same code on there, but the code can then be doing a lot more. So maybe that code will get you access to a special ops mission. That code will obviously get you access to team benefits as they start coming online, mentoring, sponsorship, all that kind of stuff that you'll see in the esports model. It all comes off the code that's on your asset, and it all comes off that asset in your wallet. So it's a really powerful way of adding utility to assets now, but having future utility come on later as the system develops.
Yeah, super interesting. I just want to reinforce that point, that this future utility is something that we will be developing with the community. We don't have all the answers. We're working on an iterative model here. Look, we have plans and we have ideas what we want to do, but it's really about growing this with the community, and it's just exciting for us to have the Goanna community as one of the first teams to experiment with. So really enjoy having these conversations and moving and iterating with the community on that as well. There's a quick question on the Polygoanna group about how rarity's computed. I actually got to I'll get that data off Andre. He's not awake. He's not awake yet, but I'll make that data public to let you know which ones are particularly rare. All I do know is for sure is that the 007 one that went out with the drop is ended up being the rarest because it had a rare background. It had a unique background. So I think that ends up being the rarest. But apologies for not knowing those details. I'll get that off Andre as soon as possible and have that available for everyone. But yes, what have we got? 4 minutes and 40 seconds until the drop starts. I'm just looking through the chats to see if there's anything else that we can, any other questions we can answer. Just quickly having a look. Yes, it's necessary to be on the whitelist to participate. So there's two separate buttons, one for the gold list, one for the white list. So if you ended up in the top 25 of that gold list mission that we played last week, you will basically be guaranteed a mint there. So it's 1 mint per wallet on that shuffle, and then the rest is on the white list. On that note, I did want to have a quick chat with you, Benji. We've got 3 minutes 43 seconds left until the drop. Have you had a chance to go through some of those polys in last week's mission? I had a skim myself, but just wanted to see if you had a chance to go through some of those ideas. The purpose of that mission was to come up with some great ideas for mutants v zombie battles. Anything pop out for you there, Benji?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I have had a good look through. I was blown away by like the level of detail that some of the people and like the amount of thought that had gone into some of the ideas was just was pretty incredible, to be honest. There was like diagrams, there was like all these attachments that they've uploaded to support their idea. So there was some really well fleshed out stuff there. I do need to kind of it's actually on my list for the next couple of days is to kind of have a really good deep dive into those ideas and start pulling out some action points. But yeah, there was plenty in there that we can certainly look to try and implement. There was a couple of I think there was a card-based game that stood out, and that was super interesting. And Heather, actually one of our Discord admins, it kind of sparked something with her where she was looking at. There was a project that used to kind of exist that was kind of similar. So she's actually reached out to their dev team and tried to find out kind of the status on that and seeing if that's actually something we can kind of combine what they'd started. I think it was an abandoned project, so we could kind of take that starting point and actually use that and potentially even bring this idea to life. So that could be really interesting, but it's early days in those discussions at the moment.
Cool. Awesome. That sounds interesting. I look forward to hearing you how that goes, and yeah, we'll have really interested to hear your feedback about that end of the process and what it's like for a mission backer to look at those polys. A lot of stuff we're developing on that end too. So your feedback is super interesting for us there. Now, with only a minute 38 seconds left.
Sorry, I was just going to ask. With that, is there a way, like, at the moment it's tied to, I have to log in and connect a wallet to see those mission outcomes. If we wanted to say like open source that, is that something that's possible?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Absolutely, Benji. The public access is open now, so we can get those polys out there. So we can discuss that. We can discuss that later, and I'll fill you in. But yeah, alrighty. Absolutely, go public.
Mars, keep going because I think we're literally coming up on a minute to go. So I imagine
there's a minute to go. I will provide a bit of a soundtrack for the drop moment because I know people will be switching over and looking at different screens. But just quickly, what's the deal with like refreshing and things like that, Benji? While the drop's going on, what's best practice?
Once the timer hits 0, those buttons should be active, and you can just click and mint. So yeah, it should be good to go. I mean, obviously, if you're on the gold list, there's no rush. Those spots are guaranteed, but the white list shuffle, there will be that element of chaos, and it's going to be first come, first serve. So,
all right,
fingers ready. We got about 15 seconds to go. This is exciting times.
10 seconds. I'll just play a little bit of music for the next couple of minutes. 3, 2, 1, and we're open. Interface is looking super slick on shuffle. Really love how this is looking, guys. Amazing work to the team.
I love this. The numbers are going down.
It's good to see the gold list is in there, picking up a little less panicky for the gold list crew, which is good.
Okay. So yeah, I just kind of refreshed NFT Explorer, which I'm tracking the sales through, and I think they must be pretty close to all gone. How are we looking?
This is exciting. First time I'm seeing a drop here. This is great.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first time for. Sorry, go for it, Benji.
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's less than 100 now. It's showing as remaining on the whitelist.
Awesome. Well, it's the first time for me being on this side of the drop. I'm usually the one with the hot trigger fingers. I remember the mutant versus zombie drop a couple of days ago, which was super exciting. Being on that side of it can be a little daunting. And I guess we'll obviously keep this open for 24 to 48 hours. If by any chance all the whitelist spots don't get taken in this first 24 hours, there is the potential that we may open it up to a public drop, but I'm dubious that will happen. But there were questions about that, so I'll just put that out there. But we will give that 24 to 48 hours before we decide. Besides that,
if that does happen, can I get one? I never got on the whitelist. I want one.
So, well, Benji, we have 25 spare for that exact
Okay.
reason. So yeah, so one of those 25 has definitely got your name on it. We also a bit of an Easter egg. We intentionally placed one of the clean skin green Polygoannas as the number one, as a bit of a homage to Gilbert, to Gilbert the Goanna. It's kind of the Polygoanna equivalent of Gilbert at 001. So it'll be interesting to see who pulls that. We haven't given him a name yet. I was trying to think of what he could be called, but maybe we'll run a bit of a poll on what we should call the Polygoanna 001. But well, we might let's leave it there. There's some questions coming in. I'll just double check. There's people posting their goannas on the chat. It's just super awesome to see on our end. Thank you for the enthusiasm, guys. Let's pretty much this time tomorrow morning. So that's a particular governance mission, 10K Algo prize pool there for some innovation in the governance space. Super excited about that. I think there's about 140 patches, 140 participants in that. So make sure you get in, because that's going to be a super fun mission. You may, I'm not promising, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but you may get a chance to flex your goanna in that mission.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's I can promise that'll be there, and not only that, but you're working on something that's super important to the community, and there's a lot of support behind that mission. So make sure you jump in tomorrow and play Pollinize, and lots more missions to come. That mission leaderboard on Pollinize is about to fill out a lot more as we move out of alpha. So do remember that this avatar is giving you the chance to play and actually engage in Pollinize and keep pollinizing. So yeah, hope to see you tomorrow at this time.